I'm going to tell you this right now. Whether you work a 9 to 5 or you run your own business, it is your responsibility to take care of your mental and physical health, and nobody else's responsibility. I think that as a generation, and not just not just millennials, but also Gen Zs, I also see them falling into this trap where a lot of people kind of make it the organization's responsibility or want to blame an organization. In 2020, I got myself burnt out. Now, I'm not ruling out the fact that some organizations are just terrible. Some managers are the literal worst. But I think I feel like it's an easy way out to just blame. I don't like the idea of blaming other people. Sometimes people are to blame, and yes. But I think that we also as individuals, and even just as self-conscious individuals, have a larger role to play in making sure that we are mentally and physically well and fit. What I mean by this is, creating boundaries shouldn't be something that you expect your organization to do for you. Sleep schedules shouldn't be something that you expect your organizations to do for you. These and so many other things are the reasons why I got burnt out in 2020. In 2019, I think between the year 2018 and 2019, I had the most terrible work culture, and just like me individually, not like even the organization I worked for, I was barely sleeping. And even in hindsight, to be honest, I wouldn't blame myself too much, because I think for a lot of us, we fall into this place where we're so excited about the work that we do, especially if you love what you do. And I always advocate for people to love what they do. If you love what you do, you kind of fall into that trap of, oh, I love this work so much, I want to do it all the time. No matter how much you love what you do is not who you are. Very, very important difference. No matter how much you love it, right? It's important, and it's your responsibility to create a distinct difference between work and who you are as an individual. Who you are as an individual is someone that needs to take care of their mind, body, and soul, regardless of whether you are the CEO of your own company. It does not matter, because when you don't take care of your mind, body, and soul, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And that's the funny thing. That's the amazing thing about this body that we have. If you don't take care of your body is going to take care of itself. That's the irony, is that a lot of times it's like when you deprive yourself of sleep so much that you just fall. Has that ever happened to you? Like, you just fall asleep in the most random places because your body will sleep. Like, there's no way that you're going to avoid it, right? Our bodies need to rest, and when we push and push and push our bodies to a point and we're not giving it any rest, it will force you to take that rest. The only thing is that you may not like the way that it shows up, and for a lot of people, the way it shows up is through burnout. Because when you I always use the analogy of burnout I like to use is like, if you imagine a car battery, right? And you drain it and you drain it and like you keep draining it, and you're not like, powering it up again. And it just gets to that point where like it's dead and your car is not going to start. You can kick and kick and try as many times as you want to, it's just not going to start. Like, that's the end. Just coming back to the fact that taking care of ourselves, our physical and mental health, is our own responsibility. It's important for the organizations that you work for, or if you run your own organization, it's important that there are policies, right, that are set up to support you on your mental health and wellness journey. But at the end of the day, it is left to you to actually take the bait and be serious with that. So what are some of the things that caused my burnout in 2020? I've already spoken about sleep. I was not sleeping. I was like the worst kind of sleeper. In fact, I remember I used to say this very strange thing to myself. I used to say to myself, I will sleep when I can pay rent. The reason is because there was a time when I used to sleep on a relative's couch. Like, I couldn't afford rent at that point. I was just starting up in my career. So I was literally sleeping on someone's couch, and like, it was fine. They had no problem having me in the house. But in my brain, I was like, I will sleep when I can pay rent. I will sleep when I can pay rent. I remember being every single time I was the last person to go to sleep and the first person to wake up, just because I had imprisoned myself in this hustle mindset. Like, I have to be a hustle, I have to. Yes, I did get to, I eventually could pay rent, and I stayed in the house that I paid for, and I was burnt out and I could not work. So isn't that funny how that works? So the very first thing that I struggled with and I wasn't prioritizing was sleep. I was getting barely 4 hours of sleep, if I even got up to 4 hours of sleep, every single day, and I did that for years. You can imagine that my body was just done, like absolutely done with me. The other thing that I did not prioritize was boundaries. Now, to be honest, like, a lot of people don't know about boundaries or don't talk about boundaries. I didn't even know I had never thought about boundaries before then. I'm not even sure I knew what it was when someone talks about boundaries. Boundaries is not even just in the workplace, because a lot of times when people say boundaries, they're thinking about, with my co-workers, if they text me past 6 p.m, I'm not going to respond. Even personal boundaries. In fact, I would argue that those are even more important than the workplace boundaries, because a lot of times your workers, like, they did not send you them to, they're dealing with their own life. Like, who is going to text you at midnight except if it's your boss? Like, except in an emergency situation, right? Or you have a very toxic work culture. 9 out of 10 times no one is texting you past that work time, because they also have lives. It's those personal boundaries that you need to set, because you see, you can't finish dealing with I won't call it toxicity, but just the stress. And it's fine, we can, we all have things that stress us out. You can't finish dealing with the stress of work, of like a 9 to 5, or even if you run a business, you can't finish dealing with the stress of all of that work and then come home and you don't even have space to actually rest, because people keep coming into your space and you are not able to set boundaries for yourself to say, I have literally been working my ass off since morning. I need space to rest. I need space to breathe. This is not the time for you to bring personal woes to me and, to start talking about stories. I understand that it's not the easiest thing to set boundaries with family. It's not always the easiest thing to set boundaries with friends. But believe me, it is so important. It's so important to at least even start having some of these conversations. Or worst case, this is like I said, this is worst case. Please move out. I'm just going to be honest. I swear, like, just move out. I did it. That was one of the things I did. If it's a situation of I cannot talk to this person, do what you need to do to create your own personal space and just move out. Not the easiest again, but absolutely needs to be done, especially in the long term, because again, you have to think about the long-term effects of all of these different things on your body. If you do not intentionally take care of yourself physically and mentally, your body will do it for you. And like I said, the way your body will do it, you won't like it, so just do it for yourself. The other issue that I had was on nutrition. In a different video, I have already spoken about my experience with ulcer, how I got ulcer, how that affected me in so many ways, why I even had ulcer in the first place. But even besides just the ulcer, I had the worst, well, not the worst, but I had a very terrible relationship and even a very bad mindset regarding physical health and wellness. This is especially towards nutrition. A lot of people do not understand how much your nutrition can affect every single aspect of your life. If you don't take care of your nutrition, you might end up with a very chronic illness that literally affects you for the rest of your life. And this is no joke, right? That's the thing. That's one of the reasons I love to talk about like health and well-being, especially physical health and well-being, because this is life or death we're talking about. Like, this is no joke. Once you've gotten to a stage where you're an adult and you can make certain decisions for yourself, you just have to be intentional about the decisions that you're making and understanding that the things that you do today, whether you're in your 20s, whether you're in your 30s, whether you're even in your 40s, can literally affect you for the rest of your life. So it's the reason why you want to take these things seriously, right? So one of the things that I wasn't doing the best at is nutrition. I wasn't eating well, if I was even eating at all. My physical health in terms of movement was near zero, and I would be tired at like the smallest thing, because literally I was exhausted. Like, I was actually exhausted. This is someone that's not sleeping well. This is someone that is always busy, because I have termed that as what is productive. And that brings me to my next point of one of, the next thing that caused my burnout is associating busyness with productivity. It's not the same thing. In fact, it couldn't be far from the same. Like, it's not the same thing. Busyness is not being productive, and this is one of the things that a lot of organizations, this is where they miss the mark, because they want you to be busy. And anybody can be busy. I would literally just sit down and tap, and you're like, oh yeah, she's doing stuff. What did I do today? I have no idea. And I had the mindset personally of like, business equals productivity. So that means that I always wanted to be busy. I struggled to sit in silence with myself and just think about certain things, because I didn't even want to hear my brain think. I always wanted to be on the move. I always wanted to be doing something. And that leads to mental fatigue. Your brain is tired. I have had to say to people a lot of times in my life, unfortunately, my brain is tired, because I started to recognize when my brain is almost like it's shutting down, right? So these are some of the things that kind of led to my own burnout. This was back in 2020. Fun fact, I had another mini burnout 2 years after that, and what caused that one was simply the fact that I did not give myself enough time to heal from the first one. And obviously I cannot give myself you have bills to pay. You have bills to pay. You need to make money. You need to be able to work, right? Nobody is out there handing free money to victims of burnout. And that's the reason why you don't even want to experience it in the first place, because it's a very difficult position to be in. When you're at a place where you are burnt out, it's like, it is working that put me here, so maybe I need to stop working. But then also I can't stop working because I have bills to pay, I have things to do. What do I do then? My recommendation is always don't just cut everything off. If it's possible to just reduce the amount of responsibilities that you're dealing with, rather than just cutting it off. If it's possible to have that conversation, at your organization with the person you work for, to reduce your workload, rather than just not having a job at all, and then begin to intentionally think about your mental and physical habits, like mental and physical wellness habits. What are the things that you are doing to actually make yourself feel well? Because a lot of times burnout is all about energy and the way that you manage your energy. If you're you need to start noticing things that drain your energy. What are those things that just like make you go from here? Again, with the illustration of a car battery, you go from 100 to 0 almost instantly. Begin to notice the things that boost your energy and things that drain your energy. Begin to notice the things that make you feel happy and lively. Don't come at me with that, oh, it's work. Once I'm not working, I'm happy. No, that's not going to fix your problem, to be honest, because if you have a good job, if you love what you do, it's totally fine. Like, every single one of us, there's nothing wrong with working. I have never been one to demonize like a 9 to 5 or having a job. Like, we all have jobs. We all have things that we have to do. The job is not the problem. The problem again is that you are not taking responsibility for your own mental health and wellness, and also your physical health and wellness. So these are some of the things that kind of led to my burnout in 2020, and then another one in 2022, because I wasn't exactly taking care of my health, taking care of these different things that we've spoken about. Let me know if you have had some kind of burnout in the past, if you do feel like you are headed towards that place right now. Comment below and let me know. If you are someone that has healed from burnout, let me know some of the things that you tried that you feel really worked for you. Just comment below and let's talk about our mental health and wellness. and I see you in the next